Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place for life, love, and laughs. In today's episode, forgive and forget, fact or fiction, and the word of the day. Hey, babe.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
It's been a long time since we recorded last, huh?
I know.
Feels like a long time.
It does.
Like, for real.
It really does.
We had our parents in town for...
John's graduation?
Yes, it was like a whole week that they were here, and we really didn't have time to record a full podcast during that time. We did record 3 other episodes of Ask John and April, so if you haven't seen those, you can go ahead and check those out.
Go check it out.
If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, now's a good time to do it. Go ahead and click that subscribe button, and I guess you should hit the bell too, probably,
Yeah,
to
so you can get notified. That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so tonight is forgive and forget, and actually it's with a question mark.
Right.
Really asking a question.
Right. Should
you forgive and forget? I've been dealing with a lot of this lately with people that I've been talking to who have been sort of asking in a relationship when you're having a conflict with your significant other, or when there's some big deal that happened that maybe was a breach of trust or something like that. If I decide to forgive them, what's the rule on forgetting about it after that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends because, I mean, I think it's easy in a relationship to forgive something that's not that deep.
True.
You know, you said something hurt my feelings.
Right.
Okay, I forgive you because you apologized and, you know.
Right.
But I think that things that happen often, like over and over and over again.
Repeat offender type stuff.
You can forgive those things over and over again.
Right.
But it's kind of hard to forget, you know, because it's like it happens again. So it reminds you that this happened, you know, 2 days ago.
Right.
And then, you know, you're fine a couple of weeks and then it happens again.
Right.
And here you are forgiving again for the same thing. So it kind of brings back, I think sometimes it can bring back old stuff that you have forgiven.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So would you say that the person who forgives is genuinely forgiving, but it may be harder to continue to forgive because that thing keeps getting repeated?
Well, it's not that they're not continuing to forgive, because they are.
Right.
Or they can be.
Right.
But I think it's harder to forget.
Yeah.
Which makes it harder to, I guess, move on from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't think you're not necessarily forgiving because
Right.
you're continuing to be reminded of what has been happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You're talking about levels of stuff that happen. So in terms of forgiving me for things, what's the easy stuff to forgive, and what's like, you know, what's harder to forgive for you?
I think it's easier to forgive stuff like, you know, again, I don't know if I can answer that question.
Why?
Because I can't think of anything right now.
Good. That's what I wanted. See, she always forgives me because, you know, I'm a good guy. You know what I'm saying?
When I'm not mad at you, I can't think about it. But if I'm mad at you, I can think about all
That's
the
weird.
things.
I don't know why that is. I'm the same way. If I'm upset with you, I can remember everything that's ever happened in our relationship. But for some reason, when things are going well, I can't remember anything.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but let me say this. Okay, so I think there are levels.
Okay.
So if you lied to me.
Okay,
let's talk about somebody who's lying to their spouse. Okay, that's a big deal.
Right.
You know, I think that you can forgive that, but it's harder to forgive.
Right.
I mean, those are harder to go.
That's hard to even forgive, you're saying. Forget about forgetting it. You're saying even to forgive in the first place, that's hard to do.
It's hard.
Yes.
And you can forgive, but that is not going to just be forgotten right away.
True.
Because you kind of have to heal from that, and you have to regain that trust and all that stuff. So to me, that's more of a process as far as the forgetting part.
Yeah.
Of course, the forgiving, we should forgive.
Yes.
I think we should forgive as quickly as possible.
Right.
I'm saying as quickly as possible because it may take some time to really be able to say, I forgive you.
True.
Even though I think we should forgive quickly.
Right.
But that's hard when you've been lied to or cheated on, or that's difficult.
So let's back up from cheated on. Let's just go back to lied to.
Okay.
Are there levels of lying too? I mean, like if I lied to you about something, like you asked me how you looked in something and I lied and said you look good even though I thought you didn't look good. So basically, maybe later on that night, I maybe revealed that I didn't think you looked as good in that outfit as I said you did earlier. And maybe I was just saying it that way because I want us to hurry up and leave. I don't know. Is that at the same level as if I lied to you about where I went last night. You know, I went out with some friends, and there were friends you didn't want me to go out with, and I didn't feel like hearing something, so I just lied about it so that you wouldn't really ask me any questions. Are those the same kind of lies in your book?
I'm sorry. For me, it is.
Okay. So
it is, because, yes, they are different levels, but I just feel like if you lied to me and you clearly admitted that you lied, that you did not tell the truth,
right,
that's going to hurt. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to question every time I'm
saying something.
I mean, anybody would.
Right.
You know, even if it's small.
Yeah, I actually feel worse about small stuff.
Yeah.
So if you lied to me about something that to me doesn't need to be lied about, now I'm trying to figure out, is this a pathological liar that I married? Because why are you lying about that? I mean, it's not even that deep. What's the big deal?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would also be wondering, is there something else you're trying to avoid? Is there a deeper problem in our relationship because you're lying about something I don't think you should have to lie about?
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering, am I coming on too strong? Is she lying to me because she wants to avoid an unpleasant conversation? Am I that unpleasant to be around that she'll just lie to get out of having to talk to me longer?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That stuff like that to me is kind of a big deal.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch it up a little bit right now, because let's talk about lying a little bit more.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Because I have witnessed liars.
Yes.
Okay, who will lie in their relationships, and the reason why they lie is because they're afraid of the way that the spouse or the significant other will respond to the truth.
I've seen that too.
So they would rather lie than to tell the truth and have to deal with the response.
Yes, right.
So it's like, I feel like sometimes they feel that they have a reason for lying. And so when they're approached, it's like, yo, it's because you get all bent out of shape over stuff. So I can't tell you what's really going on. So then
I've actually seen it where the person who lied to avoid having that delicate conversation with their significant other, they'll lie again when they talk about the reason why they lied. They won't even admit that the reason why they lied was to avoid that response. The response is so bad, they just don't want that response. So they'll lie again to be like, no, I wasn't really lying, or I just said that because of this. They won't actually come out and say, the reason why I lied to you is because whenever I tell you the truth, you trip. Because they know even after saying that there's going to be a crazy response. So in a bad situation, that's what I've seen, where it's like so bad, you'll just keep lying.
Okay, so I would say that we as couples, I think we need to actually reward our spouses or our girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever for telling the truth.
Yes, I agree.
You know what I mean? With the right response, with a calm response, if possible. I mean, it's not always possible.
That's true.
Depending on what it is.
That's
but
true.
I'm just saying, I think that sometimes I'm not saying I'm not saying that it's ever a reason to lie.
Right. I agree with that.
But I think that it is a joint effort.
Sometimes there are things that I may be doing that is encouraging you to lie. Even though it's never right for you to lie, I may be making it easier for you to want to lie.
Right.
Because I don't know how to respond correctly when you tell me the truth, and the truth hurts, or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should do better at rewarding our significant other when they tell us the truth, or when they do a difficult thing, whatever that thing is, to come clean about something or whatever. I think a reward of an appropriate response is a good idea.
Or sharing feelings.
Correct. Yes, I agree with that.
So we kind of got off topic.
No, but let's go back. Okay, so we're talking about cheating. We're really talking about the different things that a person should forgive and whether or not they should forget, and what that looks like.
The thing about forgiveness is that once you forgive, if you decide not to forget, you have to figure out what you're going to do with that. You have to figure out what you're going to do with that memory. Okay. Are you going to, hover it over the person's head and keep bringing it up as a way of having power over that person? Yeah. To say, okay, you cheated. Now that's a big deal.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
But there are some people who choose to forgive and go on with the relationship. And this is what I say. If you choose to forgive, then you've got to now go through the next steps in the right way.
Yes.
You can't choose to forgive and then be like, well, you cheated on me, so you need to buy me everything I asked for. You need to do all the laundry. You need to do all the chores in the house. I mean, there are people who do that.
Right, of course.
And that's how they can get,
It's like you're forgiving, but you're punishing the person still.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do believe that there is a process of healing. So I don't think that the person should forgive and hold it over that person. But I also feel that the person who has been forgiven needs to give the forgiver
Yes.
as much time as they need in order to heal.
I agree with that. So what you're saying really is that if, let's take the two of us, I did you wrong and you decide that you're going to forgive me, you're saying, first of all, that you as the forgiver need to do it in the right way. It needs to be a real forgiveness, not one where you say you forgave me, but then you decide to punish me for the rest of my life.
Because that doesn't show forgiveness.
That's not really forgiveness.
No, it's not.
It actually isn't.
No.
And then you're also saying that once I am forgiven as the forgivee, I need to make sure that I give you as much time as possible to be able to get over whatever that thing was that I did, because clearly I was wrong. I did something wrong. I need to give you the time. Especially if it's something like cheating, we need to give you as much time as you need to be able to get over that.
And you can't say to the forgiver,
how come you're not over that yet?
Right.
Yeah.
You
It's been
can't
3
say
months. What's going on? Why are
Or
we
it's
still
been
dealing
even
with this?
you can't even say it's been 2 years.
You're right. The
I'm
person
sorry.
needs the time that they need.
They need the
It is
time
what
that they
it
need.
is.
And but I think that it still can be done in a healthy way.
Agreed.
You know?
Yeah.
But they have to go through that.
Now, it's very tempting, I should say. It's very tempting once you've been wronged or hurt in some kind of way. It's tempting to get that person back by either punishing them or holding it over their head or whatever. It is a powerful position to be in when you know you were right.
Exactly.
And the problem is that staying in that position is devastating to a relationship.
Yeah.
So if you want your relationship to work and to bounce back from that, you're going to have to find a way to really forgive that person. Mm-hmm. Because the longer you hold on to it, it festers. It ends up doing something to you on the inside. The relationship can never really recover because that's just how it works.
Yeah.
Relationships where one person's holding something over the other person's head, it can't be healthy. It cannot continue. There's no way.
But I also think that the person who did wrong, they have got to show that they're seriously sorry.
Real remorse.
So it's like you have the person who is apologizing should be truly sorry.
Yes.
And the person who's forgiving should truly be forgiving.
That's right.
So it's both.
That's right.
You know, because if you're forgiving someone and they're like, you know, they're going to give you your time or whatever, but then whoever cheated or lied is still, you know, showing signs of, you know, cheaty habits or liey habits. I mean, it's going to be harder for that person not to hold it over their head or to bring it back up or to. So it's both parties that have to do something.
So what you're really saying is one way for me as the one who did the thing that was wrong, one way for me to show you that I'm different is to really be different.
Right.
I can't just ask for your forgiveness and then act the same way I was acting before.
Exactly.
I can't continue to do the things I was doing and going the places I was going, being around the people I was with when I did wrong in the first place. I've got to find a way to really show that I am rehabilitated.
Exactly.
I am totally different. I'm not trying to do the same thing I was doing before. Then when you forgive me, your forgiveness can be real and we can continue with that thing.
And let's go back to cheating, because when cheating has happened, I think showing that you really are sorry would be to be okay with going to counseling.
True. Absolutely.
And to show your cell phone and let it be free, you know, where the person can have your code and whatever, you know,
I'm an open
your
book.
passwords.
Yeah, you can trust me and I'm going to show you because you can have access to everything. I have nothing to hide now. You can see my emails. You can see my phones, whatever.
Yeah, because I think as far as trust is concerned, if trust has been breached, then what happens is you either are going to create a relationship where someone is insecure the entire relationship.
Right. That's true.
Right? If the person stays there.
True.
Okay, that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you could have it where then the person has now gained more baggage for their next relationship. So they don't trust anybody.
Right.
Okay.
That's true.
And or they're always suspicious of what's going on, even if you are, you know, doing what's right.
Right. Even if you are trustworthy.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, because it's such a big thing, because it lasts, it creates something that is different now in your relationship.
Right.
The person who has wronged has got to make sure that they prove and show that they really have truly changed.
True. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they have to.
And that it was actually a mistake.
Right. I can't keep doing the same things I was doing before, say that I'm sorry, and then my actions don't really show any difference. That's a problem. Your actions, like your mom used to say, have got to speak louder than your words.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
If you're having a hard time forgiving, that's understandable, but you have to remember that in order to be forgiven, you have to forgive.
Right. I was going to say something about that because here's my feeling. The reality is that you don't have to forgive anybody ever.
Right.
You can hold on to everything that anybody's ever done to you. You can do what you want to do. The problem is that the longer you hold on to unforgiveness, you're not going to be able to be forgiven yourself.
Right.
That's the problem. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works in our universe. That's just how it goes. Forgiveness comes when you show that you can be forgiving.
Right.
If you're a forgiving spirit, then you're going to receive forgiveness from others. So the longer you hold on to that hatred, that malice, that unforgiveness, whatever it is that you have, the harder it's going to be for you to be forgiven. That's just how it goes.
True.
Yeah.
It's true.
Don't ask me to explain it. It's just true.
Right. And I think that it also can cause you to become old faster.
Probably. You age much harder.
Yeah,
I agree with
little
you,
old
man.
men and women
That's
who
right.
are in their 30s, but they look like they're in their 80s
That's right.
because
Holding on to
they're
every
holding
injury,
on to
every little thing that
everything.
ever happens. That's right.
And
Yeah.
I feel like, look, get out the relationship.
Right.
If you can't forgive and you're holding on, and every time maybe that's not the relationship you need to be in.
True.
You
I
know,
agree.
especially with cheating,
Yep.
you can leave.
That's right.
And say, I can't do this because it's hard for me to forgive. I'd rather
Right.
forgive and then be
Right.
done, and I don't have
Right.
to keep seeing it happen again and
Right.
again.
Right.
But some people stay in a really bad relationship
Right.
so that they can have that power.
Right.
You
Basically,
know?
a person who is staying in a relationship to punish another person. There's something they're getting out of that, so they
Yeah.
just stay there and keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it
Which is-
actually
which is-
ages you.
That does. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I actually feel like forgiving and forgetting is the best way. It may be hard to forget, but I think you should be trying to forget it.
Yeah.
I really do.
I don't think you really can actually forget.
And all I mean by forget is don't dwell on it.
Right.
I don't mean...
because you're not going to forget.
That's right. You may remember that it happened, but that's not the same as dwelling on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're spending all your time thinking about it and just going over it in your mind and rehearsing it and replaying it and then getting resentful about it again and stuff like that. To me, that's not the best place to live. So
No.
so what we're saying is it's impossible for your brain to actually forget it.
Right.
But we think that forget for us means don't dwell on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
what we
say
should
that.
be.
Yeah,
and I think your
agree.
relationship can be happy when you decide to forgive and forget.
Right.
That's what you should
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, so start doing that today.
Be forgiving.
Yes, absolutely.
Now it's time for fact or fiction.
All right, fact or fiction. Here is where 5 statements that I'm going to make, and April has to tell me whether she thinks that statement is a fact or it's fiction. It's basically true or false. Same kind of thing. And so no cheating, please, babe.
Okay, I'm not looking.
Yes, do not
at the
look.
questions.
Do not look at the questions. I'm looking at
statements
them
or whatever.
now. Statements,
Okay.
that's what they are, statements.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Number 1. Storing old batteries in the fridge will prolong their life. Fact or fiction?
Fact. Used to do that all the time.
You should do it all the time. And
Yeah.
you thought that it would actually help.
Exactly.
Wrong. Fiction.
What? Used to do that all the time.
Yes, it means nothing.
Okay.
So what the study shows is that keeping them cold does not prolong their life, and actually it can create some condensation, and the condensation can cause them to corrode. All right, number 2.
Okay.
Ready? Oxygenated blood is red. Deoxygenated blood is blue. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Why do you say that?
Because we were always told that it's actually blue inside and it's red when it comes out.
Right. I thought the same thing. It's actually fiction.
What?
Yes. Now the
What is the truth?
I don't know. The problem
You
is
don't know. I mean,
for some reason it said fiction. I don't know. I don't know the
you
reason
have
why.
to. You
Hey,
have to find out the
I
reason.
couldn't find the answer on the phone on this one, so you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You have to look it up yourself.
Oh my goodness.
All right, number 3. You ready? A dog's mouth is cleaner than human being's mouth. Fact or fiction?
Everybody always said fact to that.
Yeah, I heard that
Yeah,
growing
I
up too.
always
So
heard
what are you
that.
saying? Are
I'm
you
saying fact.
Yeah. No, that's fiction too.
Oh.
You're wrong there.
Well,
as
I don't want a dog's mouth on me anyway.
I don't
so.
either. So here's what they say about this. So that's not really true that a dog's mouth is cleaner, but they say it might be true that dog germs are different than human germs. So if you got dog germs on you, it wouldn't actually affect you.
Okay.
So in that
okay.
way, it might
So
not be
that
as
way
bad.
It's cleaner.
So I guess that means it's okay
Yeah.
when you see people getting licked in the face by their dog, even though I think that's
No
disgusting.
thanks.
All right, number 4.
Okay.
Tiny invertebrates called water bears
Yeah.
can survive in outer space. Fact or fiction?
I know that's a fact because I taught this to my students.
Yeah, fiction. Just kidding. You're right. Fact.
I know it's a fact. And
You're right. It's fact.
The
other name for them?
The other name for them.
Yes.
Tardigrades.
Right.
Tardigrades. That's the name.
That is the name of it. Yes.
Yes.
You are correct. They're tiny invertebrates. They are
Yes, they can
water bears.
actually live in boiling water.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And they were sent to outer space and they came back
Wow. Okay.
alive.
So that's nice. Okay, number 5. You ready? You lose most of your body heat through your head. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Why? Why do you say that?
I've always heard that, and
Yeah.
you sweat in your head and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
Is that true?
No.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry, babe.
What's going on?
I know. I
Like,
picked
I'm
all the
not-
ones that were the ones that we grew up hearing and doing, but it's wrong. Okay, so what they say is it is possible that you would lose most of your body heat through your head, but only if that's the only part of your body that's not warmly covered. So let's say you go outside and you're wearing, full body head to toe warm clothes,
Yeah.
and the only thing that you don't have covered is your head,
Yeah.
then you lose all your body heat through your head.
Okay.
But let's say you wore a hat that day and you didn't have gloves on, you would lose your body heat through whatever's not warmly
So
covered.
then I wasn't totally wrong.
I guess we can give you, half a point for that or something. The problem is you got like all the other ones wrong except for the tardigrade one. So technically you only got 2 out of 5.
No, but the other one that was half.
Which one was those ones have? About the-
Oxygenated blood, because you have no answer for that.
Oh, okay.
So I should get half a point.
Well, then that's still 2 out of 5. Half a point for number 5, half a point for number 2, and then 1 full point for number 4. So 2 out of 5. Sorry, babe. That is a failing grade. So sorry about that, boo. Nice try.
Okay, word of the day.
Yeah. You ready?
The word of the day is
What is it?
exonerate.
Exonerate. Great word.
Great word.
Here's what it means: the act of officially absolving someone from blame or releasing someone from something.
Wowzers.
That's a good one.
That is a good
Exonerate.
one.
So what we're really talking about here is in our relationships, we should be willing to exonerate each other.
Mm-hmm.
I actually believe that human beings can easily make errors, and we do it all the time, but it is unhuman for us to forgive.
It is.
I actually
Yeah.
believe that's something divine. You've
Yeah.
heard that saying before: to err is human, to forgive is divine.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
you need something outside yourself to be able to
Higher.
actually forgive somebody and to forgive them to the point where you're not going to dwell on that thing that you decide to let go. Just exonerate them. And especially if you're in a relationship with them. If this is your wife, this is your husband, if you want to have a good relationship where you're actually happy, you have to learn forgiveness.
Have to.
Got to be able to do it.
Especially, and I always say this, especially if you choose to stay with that person.
That's right.
If you choose that this is where I'm going to be, this is the relationship I'm going to be in,
Yes.
then you have to exonerate.
You have to. You have to learn to do that.
That's the only way it's going to be
You're right.
happy.
You're right.
Yeah.
So thank you for always exonerating me, babe.
You're welcome. You forgive me too.
I
Thank
do.
you.
Every so often.
Every so
I'm sorry.
often.
I forgive you all the time. You're right.
Oh, okay.
It just feels like there's less to forgive you for.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Jess, John, and April.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell to be notified about our next episode.
See you next time.
Bye.